Welcome back. We are following the breaking news involving former President Donald Trump for you at this hour. Trump saying he has received a new letter from Jack Smith indicating he is the target now of a criminal investigation by a grand jury investigating attempts to overturn the 2020 election. The former president writing on Truth Social a short time ago here. Deranged Jack Smith, the prosecutor with Biden's DOJ, sent a letter again. It was Sunday night stating that I am a target of the January 6th grand jury investigation, Trump adds, and giving me a very short 4 days to report to the grand jury, which almost always means an arrest and an indictment. That is Trump's reading of all of this.
Right. And as you can imagine, there's been a lot of reaction pouring in, including from Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who had this to say. Listen.
This is the only way that the Democrats have to beat President Trump, is to arrest him, smear him, charge him with ridiculous charges, all in a cover-up of Joe Biden's crimes, Hunter Biden's crimes. It's unbelievable. It's hard to even recognize that this is our country.
Joining us now to discuss this, Karoline Leavitt, spokeswoman for Make America Great Again, Inc., who has responded to this news of the day, and also editor-in-chief of the Florida Standard, Witt. Great to see you both today. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we also got some reaction, not only from MTG, but his opponent in the race here. This is Governor Ron DeSantis from Florida weighing in just a short time ago.
So I don't know what was all about that, but I do know that we look at institutions, unfortunately, like our own FBI and Department of Justice, and we've seen the politicization of those institutions. We've seen them be weaponized against Americans. Pro-life activists can have the SWAT team come at them. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden, he would have been in jail if he were a Republican, and we all know that. So that's, I think, been a frustration to see how that is wielded. So I can't speak about that because I haven't seen it, but I can tell you one of my jobs as president will be to end the weaponization of these agencies, and I will get that job done. We will make it happen.
All right. First, I want to go to you, Will. Your reaction on how candidate DeSantis is handling this. Again, as always, Trump is sort of taking the headlines here. Not, you know, obviously he doesn't want to be indicted again, but as his contender here, he has to address it, DeSantis. How do you think he did right there?
Well, I think what he's doing is getting at the heart of the issue. Obviously, this is about Donald Trump. This news right now is about Donald Trump. But in reality, this affects all of us. I mean, you had parents who would show up to school board meetings, be called domestic terrorists. That is not an America that I want to live in. So Ron DeSantis coming and saying he wants to end the weaponization of these agencies, I think he's exactly on point. And I think that if Donald Trump wants to win a lot of parents and moms, especially in this country, he needs to focus on that messaging as well for if he was going to be president.
Yeah, and Karoline, going over to you, you released, I believe you released a statement about this. I think we have that. Do we have that? Maybe we could pull that up. And you could tell me a little bit more about the statement and kind of the reaction from, you know, from your PAC and just basically from the Trump camp about this news. I mean, as one panelist we had on talked about the risk versus the reward and dividing the country even further. It's just, I mean, politically, it's so damaging to the country. And a lot of people are saying, man, this is just madness at this point.
Yeah, it has really turned America into an unrecognizable nation, a third world country. This is what you see in Cuba and Venezuela. We have immigrants in our nation today that fled these types of political persecutions. And Merrick Garland has politicized and weaponized the Department of Justice against Donald Trump time and time again. And it's no coincidence that this comes as Donald Trump is the only candidate in the Republican primary who is beating Joe Biden in presidential or general election polling. They fear that he will be back in the White House to expose the corruption of the Biden corrupt crime family that Merrick Garland has been complicit in helping cover up. Hunter Biden gets a slap on the wrist for federal gun charges while they are trying to arrest Donald Trump, throwing the books at him and pulling out all of the stops. And all Republicans need to unite around Donald Trump so we can take this fistfight to the deep state and Joe Biden that want to destroy this country. And since you played that clip of Ron DeSantis, I must add that if you watch that full clip, he actually said that Donald Trump should have more forcefully spoken out against the January 6th protests. That's ridiculous. And that's playing right into Merrick Garland and Jack Smith's hands. We cannot have that type of language. We need to ensure that we are uniting to rally against these Marxists who are destroying America.
Well, obviously, we're also watching today Judge Cannon's ruling, and she's talking with the folks about the handling of classified documents. So another case here that obviously will be either going forward now in December or after the election. Well, when you look at what's happening in Florida, some are everyone will criticize Cannon no matter which way she rules, obviously among party lines. Another very divisive ruling here we could expect out of Fort Pierce.
Yeah, I think what's important to know, which I've talked about on my social media, like when it comes to these classified documents, like Karoline was talking about playing into these people's hands, is that whether or not Donald Trump with the classified documents had them or not, and we're arguing on the basis of whether or not that's legal or illegal, to me, that seems rather irrelevant. Because what is really happening with this and the classified documents, January 6th, is that you have an organized political group that has an agenda that is coming after Donald Trump and conservatives, whether or not it's legal or illegal. If you were Jesus Christ living in America and you lived a perfect, sinless life, the left would still find ways to create laws to say that you did something wrong. So when it comes to all of this,
I don't doubt that, actually. Yeah. The crucified, literally, yeah.
Well, you know, I'm not going to wade into those waters and talking about Jesus Christ. But let's talk about the debate. Karoline, I want to get your thoughts about something. So the first Republican debate is set, as you know, for August 23rd in Milwaukee. Former President Trump has said he may skip it, the presidential primary debate, you know, next month. Could that be a risk to him or the GOP? And also, look, as we know, Donald Trump isn't shy of a good fight. Why not take on Chris Christie, who's attacking him every day, including most recently about how he would end the war in Ukraine? I don't know about you, but I'd like to see the two of them battle it out. I mean, that's good TV, is it not? That'd be a great debate.
Yeah, well, Donald Trump is taking on Chris Christie, he's taking on Ron DeSantis, and everyone else in this race for that matter. He's campaigning. He's going out and earning the support of the American people. You see him in diners. He'll be in Iowa tonight. He held a rally with 50,000 patriots in South Carolina just a couple of weeks ago. So that's what matters, earning the support and trust of Republican primary voters. That's part of the process going on. Fox Cable News debate is not. And as Donald Trump has pointed out, he doesn't have to, right? He's 40 points ahead of the rest of the field. He's polling better against Joe Biden than RFK Jr. is polling with DeSantis right now. So he is the leader of this race in both the primary and the general election, and he owns debate. So frankly, the rest of the field should be grateful that Donald Trump will be on that stage with them.
Yeah, I hear you. And look, despite all these dizzying investigations, one after another, and it's really hard to keep up with them, his poll numbers, I mean, he's crushing it.
Yeah.
He continues to be so far ahead of the pack. It's unbelievable. We'll see what happens after this.
Yeah.
If it goes up even
And
more.
a great conversation. It's good to have you both in, kind of, because, you know, setting the stage with not the Jesus come. The thing is, it's innocent babies that even they can go after on the left, babies in the womb. So I just never, nothing's beyond reproach with them. And
I hear you.
Exactly.
I get it.
So, but it's great to see you both, and come
Thank
back
you,
and
guys.
join us real soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.